Picture this. You're standing in the formula aisle, or better yet, you're probably scrolling your phone at 2 a.m. when you're supposed to be sleeping while your baby naps, but you're too busy looking at the ingredient lists on formulas. You see things like DHA, whey ratios, probiotics, prebiotics, and then you suddenly notice something interesting. Some formulas say whole milk, and some formulas say skim milk. And naturally, the question becomes, does that even matter? The short answer is yes, but not in that dramatic good versus bad kind of way. Both type of formulas can be nutritionally complete and safe for infants, but the real difference comes down to how the formula is structured and how the fat is delivered. So in this video, I want to walk you through the difference between whole milk formula and skim milk formula. I also want to talk about how each of them is made and how to think about choosing the right structure for your baby. Whole milk versus skim milk. The big picture. Let's start with the simplest explanation. The main difference between these two formulas is how the milk fat changes during processing. With whole milk formula, the naturally occurring milk fat stays in part of the process. With skim milk formulas, the milk fat is removed from the processing and rebuilt using a blend of oils. Both approaches are designed to meet the exact nutritional requirements for infants. The difference is not whether one formula or the other provides enough nutrients. The difference is how these nutrients are delivered and how the formula is constructed. Fat composition, the core difference. Fat plays a really important role in infant nutrition. It provides energy and supports healthy brain development during early growth. So the way the fat is handled does matter. Whole milk formulas retain the naturally occurring milk fat from dairy. Instead of removing the fat during the processing, it is kept in. Milk fat naturally contains something called the milk fat globule membrane, the MFGM. This is a structure that surrounds the fat droplets in milk and contains bioactive compounds that researchers are studying for their potential roles in brain development and immune support. Because whole milk formulas preserve this natural milk fat, they often rely less heavily on added vegetable oils to meet the proper nutrition. Some oils may still be added to balance fatty acids, but the natural milk fat remains part of the structure. For example, formulas like Nara Organics use organic whole milk as the foundation of their formula. By keeping the naturally occurring milk fat intact, the formula preserves more of the milk's original structure while still meeting the strict European nutritional standards. For families who prioritize ingredient sourcing and minimal processing, this type of formula philosophy can feel aligned with your preferences. Now, skim milk formulas take a different approach. During processing, the milk fat is removed from the dairy base. The milk fat is then removed and rebuilt using a blend of vegetable oils such as sunflower, coconut, palm, or canola oil. These oils are carefully selected to ensure the formula contains the right amount of fatty acids needed for infant growth and development. And this is really, really important to emphasize here. This approach is not inherently inferior. In fact, most traditional formulas in the United States use skim milk as a base, not whole milk. These formulas are carefully engineered and have been used safely for decades. The key difference is simply that the fat profile has been restructured rather than preserved. Because the natural milk fat is removed, skim milk formulas do not naturally contain MFGM unless it is added after. Preservation versus reconstruction. When I think about whole milk versus skim milk formulas, I often describe them as two different formulation philosophies. Whole milk formula takes a preservation-first approach. They keep more of what milk naturally contains and supplements where necessary. Skim milk formula takes a reconstruction approach. They remove the fats and rebuild it using oils to meet precise nutritional targets. While we know this, it's important to know that both methods must meet strict regulatory standards. And both of them can support your infant with their healthy growth. They just take different paths to get there. Digestibility and tolerance. Another important factor when choosing formula actually doesn't have anything to do with the ingredient list. It's how well your baby can tolerate it. Both whole milk and skim milk formula are designed to support your baby's digestive system, but babies can respond differently depending on their personal sensitivities. We know that whole milk formula retains naturally occurring milk fat, and for many babies, that's not really an issue. But for some infants with more sensitive tummies, the preserved fat structure may take a little bit longer to get used to, especially in the early weeks when their digestive system is brand new and still starting to develop. It's also really important to understand that both whole milk and skim milk formula use lactose as the primary carbohydrate. Lactose is a natural sugar that is found in breast milk and dairy milk. Most healthy infants can digest lactose with no issues at all. And it actually helps support calcium absorption and beneficial gut bacteria. However, in some uncommon cases, babies may struggle with lactose digestion or show signs of sensitivity to cow milk proteins. Some symptoms might include excessive gas, fussiness while feeding, reflux, and hard or loose stools. When this happens, the issue usually isn't is it whole milk or skim milk formula. Instead, it may relate to protein structure or how the baby's digestive system is responding to dairy overall. If your baby seems consistently uncomfortable on standard cow milk formula, your pediatrician might start recommending some other options. Some of those options are partially hydrolyzed formulas, where the milk proteins are broken down for easier digestion, reduced lactose formulas, or extensively hydrolyzed or even amino acid based formulas. Those are for babies who typically show allergy signs. Some families also explore goat milk options. This is because the protein structure is slightly different from cow milk, and it may make it easier for babies to digest. Every baby's digestive system develops at its own pace. And sometimes finding the right formula involves a little bit of trial and observation. If symptoms persist, it's always best to reach out to your pediatrician and discuss formula options. Now, which formula structure might be right for your baby? If you're trying to decide between whole milk and skim milk formulas, the decision usually lies with a few different factors. The first being digestive sensitivity. Some babies can tolerate standard formulas with no issues. Others may experience gas and fussiness and reflux. Second is ingredient preference. Some parents just prefer whole milk formulas because they like that it has naturally occurring milk fat. Others feel perfectly comfortable with a formula that replaces the milk fat and rebuilds it and still has the nutrition that your baby will need. Availability can also play a role. As we know, skim milk formula is more common in the United States and very easy to find, especially if you live in a rural area. But whole milk formulas are now becoming more popular, especially in the States, so it might start to become easier to find them in stores, but very easy to find them online as well. And finally, it's helpful to remember that formula feeding can change as your baby grows. What works well during one stage of their growth may change drastically, especially as their digestive system develops. Pay attention to feeding comfort, stool changes, and overall growth to help you guide that decision. So, is one better than the other? This is where nuance really matters. There is not a universal best option. Some parents will just prefer whole milk formula because of the milk fat. Some will prefer skim milk because it's readily available and it still has the nutrition that your baby will need to grow. In most and probably every case, the decision really comes down to your baby's tolerance and what your family's lifestyle preference is. If you're evaluating formulas right now and you're trying to make sense of the ingredient list, understanding the difference between whole milk and skim milk formula is a great place to start. The key takeaway is this: whole milk formula preserves naturally occurring milk fat. Skim milk will remove the fat and rebuild it with a blend of vegetable oils. That's really what you need to know. Both approaches will meet the same nutritional standards that your baby needs to grow. They simply take different paths to get there. And again, the best formula for your baby is the one that they can tolerate well and that helps them grow and thrive and be the happy baby that they can be. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment below letting us know what formula are you using for your baby right now, and do they like it? Do they hate it? Did you have to change a lot? We would love to know, so let us know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.